As promised, we are back. It is the 2016 European Open exclusively here on Spin TV. Got the back nine coming your way. I'm Jamie Thomas, taking you the rest of the way through this battle between four giants of the sport out in Nokia, Finland at the Beast. We left off with a star frame on hole 9. Ricky Wasaki's holding a true two-stroke lead over KJ Nybo and Paul McBeth. Simon Lizotte 4 back from the leader. Let's go on to hole 10. A wicked hole, 666-foot par 4. Huge dog leg left. The fairway will start to curve left past those trees down there. A little bit of an elevated pin here allows those guys to really get down the fairway. And here goes the champ. Big hyzer needs to be short of that tree. A little bit higher than you want to be. Didn't get quite as much penetration. Might have even clipped a branch there. Still in good position to access the green. And here's the 10-time Danish champion. Riding out a little bit right on him. And he's going to have a ceiling on his next shot. But still will be able to play the hyzer into the green, so he has the opportunity. And Simon's going for it. That just might have slipped out of his hand a little bit. He does clear the out of bounds. When you see Simon wind up like that, you sure do expect a whole lot of distance, and he didn't really get it that time. And here's Ricky Wasaki. Looking to stop a little bit of a slide he had on the second half of that front nine. Ooh, watch out, mama and baby. Ricky was short of the OB, but he's tucked back there. Through a hyzer forehand skip shot under that branch as opposed to risking that Annie. Exposing the underside of that disc. Looks like he's playing for par. Here's KJ. KJ wants the birdie. Just catches the right edge of that banner. He's gonna have a long look, but a look. There should be no problem for Simon to reach with his distance. Still some work left to do, though. Paul McBeth has made a statement already on this back nine. He's birdied holes 5 through 9 and is now looking at a birdie on the 10th. Ricky with a good upshot. Should be good for par there. And in this wind, hole 10's playing about a half stroke above par. Through the whole field. And here's Simon to not lose one to Paul right here. And that's big. I think Simon expected that to leak out the left side, but it stayed in. KJ cleans up his 4. Paul for 3. Ricky for 4. Will it come down to a battle once again? Now only 3 strokes separate all 4 with 8 to play. Innova Champion Disc. Got to thank them so much for what they're doing. Obviously for Disc Golf World Tour support and Spin TV support. I'm here with you guys doing what I love because they've given me the opportunity. And now on to hole 11. A big hyzer outright trying to penetrate past those trees and skip. Beautiful on the ace line. Just a couple feet deep. And I think McBeast mode is activated. Simon, known for throwing big hyzers himself. And he just left that one inside, and he may have found out of bounds there. Not what he wanted. Not what he needed. KJ again, the hyzer gets a little bit flat on him, somehow dodges the light post. But he's found the out of bounds short of the pin. The wind's getting to him on his tee shots here. As Ricky goes nice and high. Plenty of distance. No, with the kick. KJ with a good bid there. He'll have to settle for a 4. Hole 11 is actually one of the harder holes this whole weekend at the Beast. Playing at a 3.83 average. Oh, Ricky chains out. Par putt misses. He'll take a bogey as well. And 3 par putts up. 3 par putts make contact. And Paul McBeth all of the sudden has taken 2 strokes from every other competitor on his card. Just like that. And at this point, with 7 holes to go, and Paul McBeth should be tied for the lead, if not the outright leader. At this point, you may have to execute a change in strategy if you're one of these other competitors. Because Paul has now birdied holes 5 through 11, and he does have the outright lead. 1 over Ricky, 2, 3 over KJ, and 4 over Simon. Hole 12, one of the nastier roughs on this entire course. If you're off the fairway on this one, you could be in some deep troubles and looking for some numbers. With that being said, the fairway is nice and wide, allows for an aggressive line. Paul's roller will be slightly left side fairway. This is where Simon could really use his distance to gain an advantage. He's never scared of the big shot. Saki also opts for the roller. Challenges the left side. Clears the trees. And this is a position all of these guys have been in. A few holes to go and chasing Paul McBeth. And KJ's going to get a kick off the tree. But that may open up his right-handed hyzer line a little bit more than if he'd stayed to the left. Big power hyzer from Simon, skipping to the basket. Just a little bit long of the green. Beautiful shot by KJ right there. That should guarantee him his birdie. It was right about this part last year, round 3. where Paul injured himself once. He's again playing in Nokia with an injury to his knee. Didn't affect him on that shot. Textbook. A beautiful upshot from Ricky as well. To be able to play that forehand on just that nice laser line. Rewind that tape back and watch it, because that's well done. Simon not losing a stroke to Ricky, Paul, or KJ. Like it'll be a star frame, barring disaster. Hole 12. These guys are making it look easy. Paul McBeth, the first player to reach 20 under par this year at the Beast. As we keep it rolling on to hole 13. Dogleg left. About 250 feet from the pin is where the gallery is down there. Ball needs that to stay right. And he just makes the corner. Simon playing a little bit smarter golf, which has allowed him to secure some victories this season. And the second time, KJ, when he's in a protected teeing area like that, has smacked the first tree on the course. Ricky got a very fortunate kick right there. And that is not good for KJ. He really can't take too much more than a bogey here if he wants to stay in contention coming down the stretch. Simon once again showing off that low power hyzer with a little skip and another birdie opportunity. And that one's well within Wasaki's range. KJ needs to at least look at it after this upshot. And that's trouble. Paul misses the tree on the weak side, but clear path to the pin. Just a little bit low on that. It's deceptive the way the leaves are moving outside of there, but underneath where the basket is, there's no wind, and it has fooled both KJ and Ricky, two very accomplished putters in their own right. Paul's caddy, Junis, loving it. Little show of celebration there. Simon will walk away with his birdie. KJ's going to slip one back. He will be in fourth place after the two-stroke swing. Simon jumps up to third. Within striking distance. Hole 14. Birdie here goes a long way with 16, 17, and 18 looming in the distance. That's pulled over a little right. Gonna hope for the cut roll. Simon has thrown it beautifully. And again, watch the wind on these leaves here near the tee. And then when we get towards the greens, the wind is different in the different sections of this hole, making that read just a little bit tougher. But Ricky places it easily within tap-in range. KJ is having trouble getting off the tee today. Not sure if it's rhythm or if there's something in the wind that he doesn't like, but normally a very accurate player, and he's having trouble hitting those greens in regulation. And that's a big putt from Paul McBeth. Missed the green himself on that. No problem. Sneaks that one in over the cage. Stops the bleeding for the moment. Simon to match. And his putting, the feel for the speed that he puts on that disc is so improved from this year to last year. Last year he struggled with consistency, over putting or not giving it enough to get to the basket, and he's just feeling it so far this year, and the results have shown. As we roll on to hole 15, the start of the last 4 holes of this course, which really make a huge difference. Downhill, dog leg right with trees guarding the corner. Takes a big shot to cut the corner. Paul says no need for that. Tries to play it safe. And he's going to land just short of the OB. The door open for Simon Lizotte. And he wants all of it. The wind did not help him. A shot which initially looked like it was going to carry. Found a little luck himself, short of the OB. See if Ricky can make the adjustment. A little too much hyzer. He's going to find OB left over that path. KJ looks to be just in front of that clump of trees in the fairway. He may even have the hyzer angle at the pin. Paul going for the backhand here. A little bit of a strange choice. And not to belabor the point, but you have to wonder if the knee is making him choose different shots than he normally would have. Very accurate with his forehand. We wait to see the result of KJ's shot. Simon with a little cheeky window. And not even close. KJ did seem to be out of bounds. His next shot will be inbounds and on the green.
His third shot, first.
And this is just unfortunate play from the Europeans right now. Paul made the mistake off the tee. He made 2 mistakes in a row. And all of the guys on his card bailed him out by finding out of bounds themselves. Even though they got to watch Paul, and it's just not what you need to do coming down the stretch. And he'll chip up there. KJ first to putt, first to hole out. He will be over par. Ricky looking for his par. Jams it into the band, but it falls in. Little bit of a lackluster play from these guys on hole 15 here, as the card will play it 3 over. Ricky will actually take the box with the only par from the group, and he's now within 1 stroke of the lead himself. With this hole looming, hole 16. Many of you will remember from our coverage about a year ago that it was this hole that cost Ricky Wysocki the tournament. But he has played it very nicely off the tee. Backhand hyzer sets up nicely for another backhand hyzer into the slope. Paul looks like he's taking it a little bit wider. He will throw before Ricky, presumably. Simon going for the knife hyzer, trying to reduce that skip, but he catches the path and flares all the way out of bounds, so he will re-tee. It is stroke and distance on this hole, and there he goes. Throws way over the path, just takes it out of play entirely. Here's KJ. Hanging it high, hanging it hyzer. Very nice shot from the Dane there. Paul McBeth. Can he repeat last year and put the pressure on Ricky? Oh, and he hops over the hay bale. I don't think this hole would give that shot up 10 more times if people threw it. That's a 1 in a million shot right there, and he needs it. As KJ and Simon are essentially battling for the 3rd podium spot at this point. A little bit out of reach for those guys, you would think. There you go. That's a good correction there by KJ. And here's Ricky, the forehand, the island green. And that's cold-blooded right there. We talked about how much Simon has improved from last year. Ricky has upped his off-season training to a level that rivals Paul's. And the results speak for themselves. Jams it in from downhill of the basket, and he will take a very important birdie with 2 to play. Simon and KJ both taking pars to maintain his lead. Little high, but stays in. Solid putt by Paul McBeth. And we're going on to hole 17, guys. We have a battle not only for first place, but also for outright 3rd. 1 stroke separates the Americans, 2 strokes separates the Europeans as they battle for their respective places. This hole 17, there were only 13 total birdies today on this hole. The lead card looking for a share of that number. That's compared to 188 pars and 146 bogeys. This hole very tricky with the downhill, and the wind is gusting here as Paul McBeth throws. and that's short. And you'll have to excuse me, those numbers I quoted were for the whole tournament, not just for day 3. So 13 birdies all weekend for the entire field here at Nokia. Simon's going aggressive with it. He's got to get down in quickly. And the spotter didn't get to give the signal. Simon will have to await his fate. KJ with an opportunity to grab some strokes. He's going to leave his short. 4 of the best players in the world, and none of them put it in a consistent spot on this fairway, which tells you how tough this green is to access off the tee. Securing the 3. Simon playing a little position golf there. He was out of bounds, so he will be putting for bogey. Paul with a death putt, and Ricky threatening. Little halfway run for a share of the lead. Solid. Absolutely solid. One thing that's always been said about Ricky Wasaki's game in a negative sense is his inability to close out the one guy that he needs to become the world's #1, and that guy right there, Paul McBeth. But so far it hasn't been an issue this year. He's talked a lot about momentum and the way he's just tried to carry it through the off-season and into the early part. And like I said earlier, the results are speaking for themselves. We have a tie.
Disc Golf Park, a natural way to create sports facilities. One of the world's fastest growing sports, disc golf offers a fun and athletic experience for people of all ages, no matter their performance level. It is an activity the whole family can enjoy and easy to learn. Disc Golf Park is an overall concept for establishing a safe, highly functional, and diverse disc golf course. A professionally designed course comes complete with disc catcher baskets, throwing pads, and a signage system. Constructing a 9-hole disc golf course requires only about 10 acres of land and can be completed within a few months. Designing a disc golf course calls for a professional. An experienced course designer adds real value to the project while considering the needs of all the parties involved. Disc Golf Park offers a complete sports facility where people are able to engage in the sport on their own. On-course safety is ensured by throwing pads and an effective signage system. A disc golf course can be established practically anywhere, in a park, next to a school, in an outdoor recreation area, or in the woods. The cost of establishing a disc golf course is only a fraction of the cost of many other sports facilities. Best of all, a disc golf course can be built with minimum environmental impact. Disc Golf Park, a natural way to create sports facilities.
Courtesy of that Disc Golf Park commercial. Shot at Yarva, where the next Disc Golf World Tour event will be. Also a PDGA major, the European Masters, coming in July. Everybody stay tuned for that. And we're back to hole 18, where Paul McBeth and Ricky Wasaki find themselves once again battling for the glory. That's sawed off. A big mistake from Ricky Wasaki. His forehand is going to cost him the extra stroke. He is out of bounds. And if Paul can put this at the sweet spot, the bottom of the hill, it'll be very tough for Ricky. He's making sure it's long of the OB. And that is a statement shot right there. You know, Paul lives for those situations. He loves being able to put that dagger right in the heart of his opponents on the course. KJ Nybo finds safety right at the corner of the fairway. And Simon may be trying to make magic happen here. And he wants to go big. And that disc is still flying. And he would have been up by the scoreboard if he could have faded back in bounds sooner. No problem, he says. I'll go big again. Lost sight of that one a little bit. I think he was throwing to the German flag flying back there instead of the pin. Here comes Ricky. Oh. And that should do it, folks. Pressure is on Paul McBeth to put it inbounds. But a very tight green. He finds a red flag, and this gets interesting. And he is going to get the green flag. Just stays in bounds. He'll have a tough putt, likely a 2-putt on this 18th hole, but shouldn't be an issue. KJ playing very nicely here. Simon from a knee. Cans it. He missed a similar putt in round 2 that robbed him of 100% inside the circle putting. So he made his makeup shot there. And in eerily similar fashion to last year, Paul McBeth is allowed to pitch up under the basket. And he will walk away with the European Open victory 3 times in a row. A little insult to injury there for Ricky. I think a lot of people are ready to declare this the year of Ricky and not taking a single thing from him. He has played phenomenally all weekend as well as all year on tour. But this weekend is going to belong to Paul McBeth, who came back from 5 strokes down with 18 to play. He is going to card a bogey-free, a 1 bogey, 11 down round. And this is among one of the best comebacks we've seen from a player who's known to make comebacks. 22 under par for the weekend. An 11 down round. Congratulations to Paul McBeth. Congratulations to all of these guys who have been just incredibly entertaining all year to watch. We wish all of them the best in a month, as these guys will be battling it out at Järva Disc Golf Park in Stockholm. There you go, Rick. Get you some champagne anyway. Every last one of you deserves it. Every last one of you, thank you so much for tuning in to the 3rd Disc Golf World Tour event. We'll see you guys in Stockholm. I'm Jamie Thomas for the Disc Golf World Tour and Spin TV. See you next time.
That was a blast. Wow. Do it again next year.